Benvenuto. Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make mashed potatoes. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Mashed potatoes is one of those things a lot of people tell me their mashed potatoes don't come out good. Now, in my opinion, my recipe or the way that I make mashed potatoes are delicious. That doesn't mean it is. You'll have to try it and then let me know. But anyway, whenever somebody eats something that I've cooked or, Wade will comment I'm a good cook or someone else will say that, I always think to myself, well, I don't know if it's so much about that I'm a good cook. What I am is a good recipe follower. And there are certain things that, recipes that I've made over the years, I've gotten them from other people, added my own twist to it, or come up with them myself. This is kind of a combination of the way my mother made mashed potatoes and me adding my own couple little spins to it. But I think the important thing with mashed potatoes is you really have to follow a recipe. You just can't go in willy-nilly and, have 5 pounds of potatoes one time and, half a stick of butter the next and combine it all together and think they're going to come out right or the way that you want them to come out, because they're not going to. And especially on such an important day as Thanksgiving, whoever's eating my mashed potatoes, I want them to think they're delicious. So this is how we do it. The potato you choose is very, very important. Okay, this is a russet potato. You really only have 2 options when you're making mashed potatoes. You either want a russet potato, or you could use a Yukon yellow or yellow potato. Any other potato, a red, all the other varieties, they're too waxy, and you're not going to get that nice fluffy consistency that you want with mashed potatoes. When I'm making, this is just kind of a straight, basic mashed potato recipe that I use all the time. When I want a nice smooth consistency as possible, I always use a russet because I'm gonna peel them. You could use Yukon Golds or yellows, and the skin on that is really, really thin. So as long as you scrub them really well, you don't have to peel them. But in this case, I wanted to show you just kind of my basic way that I make mashed potatoes. If you make them and you like them, that'd make me so happy. And also add your own twist to it. All right, so the most basic ingredient we need is our potatoes. So we talked about our russet potatoes. This recipe is for 3 pounds of potatoes. All right, 3 pounds of potatoes isn't going to go a lot on a big Thanksgiving dinner. So if you're going to double or quadruple it, you want to double and quadruple all the other ingredients in the same portions. All right. So then we're going to need we need a stick of butter for this recipe for the 3 pounds. We need a cup of half and half. You could even get more decadent and use light or heavy cream. You could cut down a little bit on the fat and use whole milk. I wouldn't use anything less than whole milk for mashed potatoes, because you're not going to get that really nice creamy consistency that you want. We need some sea salt to boil our potatoes in. And really, other than that, we need some salt and pepper. All right, and I'm going to do my same portions that I do with my potato salad. I'm going to actually cook my potatoes in 6 cups of water, and I have 6 packets of Herbox no sodium chicken bouillon. All right, all the rest of them are in this container here. So really, there's nothing to this. There's nothing to making mashed potatoes, but I think mashed potatoes are one of those things that if you make them good, everybody's going to remember. Another thing with this particular recipe and this kind of just basic recipe, I always use this version of it when I'm making, when we're going to have gravy, whether you're going to have turkey gravy, chicken gravy, even a beef gravy. So I don't add a lot of other fixins to this. One thing you could do is, as we're mixing everything together, if you want to make them a little bit more fancy, I would add any other ingredients that you're going to add, say like cheddar cheese, grated cheddar cheese, or maybe cream cheese, even sour cream. For this particular, with the 3 pounds of potatoes, I would do that just in like a half a cup increment. So if you're going to make, if you want to add a nice cheesiness to this, and you're going to add some grated cheddar cheese, I do a half a cup. All right, that being said, let's get cooking. Okay, as you can see, I've peeled our last potato. Just showed you about how I cut them in there. Nothing fancy to this. I just cut it in half. Cut it in half again. Excuse me. You want them to be about the same size, okay? So then I would take that and I quarter that. So you want them to be about 2 inches. The reason we want that is because we want them to all cook at the same time and evenly. All right, so as you can see, I'm putting these, I've, of course, peeled it. I rinsed it off. I'm putting them in some cold water. Now, ideally, if you could, once you get all your potatoes cut, if you could let them sit in the cold water for maybe 10 minutes or so, that'd be really good, because that's going to get some of the starch out. Okay, so will help you not get a gummy mashed potato. All right, I have let all the others soak for 10 minutes. I think that last one that we cut should be all right. So we're going to strain these. There you go. All right, and then we're going to put them into our pot. Now, as I said, for the 3 pounds of potatoes, as I said, you want 6 cups of water. Now, the reason I want you to use 6 cups of water, or the reason my recipe calls for 6 cups of water, is because I'm going to use 6 packets of our chicken bouillon. And it's 1 package of bouillon to 6 cups of water. Now, if you're going to double this recipe, then you're going to need to double the water, and you're going to need to double the packets. Now, you might not need to double the water, but say that you were going to say you were going to do 6 pounds of potatoes, you'd probably want 8 cups of water. And then so I would do, so you want the water to be just about 1 inch above your potatoes. But very, very important, you want to start out with cold water. All right, never cook your potatoes starting with warm water. All right, so in that goes. And so we've got our 3 pounds of potato, 6 cups of cold water, and we're going to start to bring that up to a boil. All right, in the meantime, we can add our little seasonings packets, and don't worry, as that starts to boil, that will all dissolve into the water. And we got our salt. Okay, now, believe it or not, that's it, at least for this part. So you want to bring this to a boil, and when this boils, we'll come back and show it to you. Okay, guys, so you can see this has come to a boil. Our bouillon is all nicely dissolved into the water along with our sugar. Of course, you know what a boil looks like, but I just wanted to emphasize again, you're going to start with cold water, and you're going to bring it to a boil. Don't cover the pot or without a cover on it, so you're going to bring it to a boil. All right, you want the potatoes to be very tender when making mashed potatoes. We want nice, fluffy, creamy mashed potatoes. So That's going to probably take about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so you're going to keep an eye on them. In maybe the 10-minute mark, take a fork and give them a poke, and they should be nice and soft. Also, keep in mind, if you're on a regular stovetop, this happens to be an induction burner, like I said before, so this is going to keep the water at that very consistent boil. It's not going to overboil. But if you've got it on your stovetop and you've have it on high, you've brought it to a boil, you might want to adjust your heat a little bit to that it's still at a rolling boil, but it doesn't boil all over. Okay, you can also see I've got our cream and our half a cup of half and half and a stick of butter in here. I'm going to microwave this in the oven. I'm going to microwave this in the microwave oven at about 30 second. Don't put it in for 30 minutes. 30-second intervals. I want it to get warm, and I also want the butter to melt. All right, so next time you see this, it'll be all melted. So again, probably 30 minutes, 1 or 2 times. Oh God, I keep saying minutes because I'm sorry. 30 seconds, 30-second cycles, once or twice. Anyway, it's been a long day. You know what I mean, right? Okay, we'll see you when our potatoes are done. Okay, so my potatoes today cooked at just about that 12.5-minute mark. Didn't quite take 14 minutes today. So again, what you're looking for is just a nice soft potato. It's hard to show you that, but if you put your fork in it, it's going to cut it right in half like that. Did you catch that? Yeah. Yep. All right. So let's put these back in there because we don't want to waste them. All right. So shut our heat source off, and we're going to drain these. But you want to keep your pot handy. All right. So let's drain them. My glasses are all fogged up. I'm trying to drain them as much as possible. All right, we're going to actually put them back in your pot for a minute. And we're going to return the pot back to, say, a low to medium heat. And we're going to dry them a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to let them hang out there and cook off some of that moisture. And that's going to help you not have a runny, wet mashed potato. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, it'd be hard to pick up how much drier they are than when we put them in the pot. They're already crumbling apart. So you really just need to give it a couple stirs over the heat. Okay, and that's done. All right, now, normally I'd mash them right in the pot that I've cooked them in, but because I wanted to be able to do this here instead of at the stove, because it's harder to film there, I did them in a non-stick pan, because this is the only big pan that I have that works in the induction. All right, but you certainly could do that all in one pan. All right, then the next step is simple. You mash them to your desired consistency. Some people like them still with a little bit of chunks in there. I like them on the relatively smooth side. This is just a regular potato masher. They've got like hand rice mashers that you can get today. I keep meaning to get one. All right, now I'm mashing these before I put my butter and milk in, because I find the least you handle them, the better. So that is just about the consistency I like them at.
You never whip them, right?
I don't. You never.
Mix it?
Some people do, but if you whip mashed potatoes in a hand mixer, you're going to end up with glue. So anyway, I'm going to pour my milk and butter mixture in. And it's going to look a little like it's not going to all go in. Again, we're looking for luscious, soft mashed potatoes. But, so as I said, it's going to look like that's too much, but the potatoes are going to start to absorb it. All right, now I'm going to give this a quick taste. I actually don't think it needs any more salt. I am going to give it a couple grinds of pepper. Of course, salt and pepper is always to taste. You might want them a little more salty. Oh. Now, if you had done this in your pot at this point, you could, I can't see them falling in there. You could just, put a cover it with tin foil, or throw the cover to the pot over them and throw them into the, say, a 200-degree oven. Keep them warm. Don't want to let them in there too long, but if you haven't gotten everything all together yet, you could certainly do that for, 15, 20 minutes before they start to get gloopy. All right. Now, if you want to be really fancy, put a couple dollops of butter on there, but that to me is the perfect mashed potatoes. All right, we'll see you back when it's time to eat. Oop, one more thing. I forgot a little bit of chives. Garnish it with some chopped chives. Make it look pretty. Oh, it looks like I'm... All right, there you go. Perfect mashed potatoes. All right, tonight we're going to be tasting our green beans and gravy, as well as our mashed potatoes with our dinner tonight. We baked up some nice cod fillets, and what do you want to taste first, potatoes or beans?
The beans first.
All right, let's dig in. So simple and so delicious. I mean, you taste the nice tomatoes, the garlic, the green. You still taste the green beans themselves. I think they're perfectly
I can see
done.
why you enjoyed them when you were a kid. These are good. I think kids will like these too. Yeah. Get their vegetables.
Yep. What about our mashed potatoes? What do you think?
Well, I know. Had a sneak peek on the potatoes anyway. So. Those are delicious.
They're very creamy, fluffy mashed potatoes. It's not a thick, mashed potato. It's light, and that's, to me, the perfect mashed potato.
Delicious.
I mean, imagine that with your on Thanksgiving with your turkey gravy.
Yep, try it.
Delicious. Well, we actually did both of these today in separate videos, and as I said, we're combining them in our tasting as your fish.
This is good too.
Good. Again, that's just simple, little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and baked it. I can't get it on my phone. Anyway, as I said, we actually did the two of these today. I hope that you try them. I hope that you love them. I hope that they become part of your cooking repertoire. And that's all I have to say.
Please like, subscribe, and check us out on cherryhillhomecooking.com.
Ciao.
Bye. Oh, this is delicious.
Mhm.
That's 59.